All right, final game of the night, everyone, is KOVA versus Resolve. Another cross map, sort of bottom end of the table. You can see both of these teams only getting one win in the bag thus far. Both teams, I think, have an interesting dynamic as well. Very jungler reliant to drive their early game. So that soft versus outlandish matchup is going to be the one that I'm really interested in, actually, between KOVA and Resolve.
I kind of feel like Soft does so much work for Resolve, and then they just completely botch it into the mid to late game. Sorry, I feel like on the other side, Outlandish often isn't actually a participant in some of their plays. I don't know where the communication's breaking down, but I see these plays where like they're tower diving Kakarn top lane 2v1, both of them AD, and Kakarn's on Ornn, and they end up dying, and I'm like, well, where's Outlandish? Other side of the map playing Diana, who would have been perfect to assist with that. And I don't know if it's Outlandish not communicating with the rest of the team. I think KOVA's issue is a big disconnect in how they're playing, whereas Resolve just can't seem to close out a game they're ahead in. So, I mean, they can't both lose this game, but I guess we'll see who manages to take it.
I just feel like the sort of problems lie in the same area, and usually I've seen KOVA figure out how they want to play, right? Especially when Tiara starts roaming around the map. It's very clear what they want to do, because I feel like Tiara is such a big playmaker for KOVA, same as Outlandish. But the thing here is that they get so lost in the mid game, which is usually where you're going to see the good teams separate from the great teams, when that mid game is so solid. And I feel like I've not been impressed by neither of their mid game. So I think if Resolve want to solidify themselves to go towards the next stage of the tournament, here is where they need to start pulling out with wins.
We'll see the Lee Sin locked in here. Like, the obvious response at this point would be for KOVA to pick up something like the Renekton, which is there, as you see, being hovered. I expect that to be locked in. It's a good thing to match the Lee Sin solo lane, which has been popular over the last couple of patches. And they're going to take the Kai'Sa away early on as well.
A bit of an interesting one, because we're not seeing as much Kai'Sa, because she's been hit with Halo Blades nerf and a direct nerf to her Q. She's kind of falling a bit out of the meta, but it's still very much a snurmy pick. And we know Chara likes to play these heavy CC engage supports that will pair so well with the Kai'Sa. So very on theme, but there's obviously leaving opportunity for Resolve to potentially take a good matchup. Something like Varus would do really well in the lane, although looks like they're going to opt for the Jinx here, so a bit of scaling. I feel like KOVA have already started to draft the makings of a dive composition. Fancy just deal with that Jinx?
The Thresh is open, so you could pair it with that. I really like this. You also have the kick from the Lee Sin. You can have a set and a lot more peeling in the top side of the map. Kalem can go something towards an Ornn to play completely peel for the Jinx, but then again, here's the question, right? You get a very easy to execute composition where you know you're playing for Jinx, you know you're playing for this team fight. I don't want to see necessarily the game be so dragged out without vision, where you're like, okay, the next fight when we have an item, okay, the next fight when we have an item, okay, maybe the next fight when we have an item. And then you've just lost so many objectives, because you see KOVA here are very decisive on what they want to do. They want to find this Jinx and they want to kill this Jinx.
Looks like we get the Akali lock in here. Now, obviously, there is some flexibility between Renekton and Akali for sort of top lane and mid lane. But you feel like the Lee Sin could just mirror the Akali here and sort of end up in whichever lane the Akali is intending on going to. So I'm assuming at this point that draft advantage lies with Resolve. They're going to ban the Anivia here. So respect banning Chimera in the mid lane with that Anivia pick. Even though there is quite a lot of like get past the wall type of dive here from KOVA, they are still going to put a ban onto that bird and stop Chimera from picking up. But we are going to see some junglers now taken away from Outlandish. Here's Xin Zhao, which is one of the things that he was able to get a win on versus... Who did they get a win versus? Nordavind? Was it? I think they picked up a win with the Xin Zhao. Yes. No.
It was against Godsend.
Yeah, Godsend. I think, sorry.
I could see Resolve banning away the Nautilus here. We have a situation where a lot of players happy to take the Nautilus in a Thresh matchup. It stings really well the Kai'Sa, obviously offers that engagers. Although Leona is a really strong pairing, the matchup into Thresh isn't quite as good. So it makes sense to take that away here. I feel like you've thinned the jungle pool a fair amount, although there is still that volley bear open available as an option, and they do end up just taking away the Nautilus.
I'd like to see possibly Outlandish on a Hecarim here, because Hecarim is such a strong pick that you can't necessarily stop with the Thresh, especially when he ults, you have instant access into the backline onto the Jinx, and you can get your Kai'Sa in that way as well. So it's a really easy all-in. I love the Rakan as well. This is like a very clear cut, we are diving, we are fighting composition, and I kind of like that they're leaving the jungler for last, because if you feel like you can play Volibear in this specific composition, which I don't think it's necessarily the best here, because you've got a Lee Sin and you've got a Thresh, so I don't think Volibear would necessarily do pretty well into this composition, but you also leave the window open if you feel like you want to go for it. But again, I think the Hecarim could be huge, as well as possibly even the Nocturne in the jungle.
Yeah, I really like the Rakan as well. I think for Tiara, it's been his best performer in spring was when he was on the Rakan. And as you said, the Hecarim, one of the big reasons Kai'Sa was working so well in the Hecarim meta was because they're just such good dive buddies. But I actually really like this adaptation for Resolve. I think the Twisted Fate is typically something we see picked into the Akali. One of the major things that actually factors in here is it's really hard to flank against a Twisted Fate. As you set him up trying to look for that engaged position, you can just pop that Destiny, call you out. They can even look to engage on you if possible. And then they end up running out with the Urgot, who obviously serves as a solid frontliner, but also for these melee divers, if you get caught in a flip, if you get caught by that ultimate, very easy to take you down and disrupt. The AoE fear, so effective in that situation.
I mean, it's very clear what KOVA want to do here, though, because the Nocturne has got locked in. So if there were any doubts, no doubts shall be had anymore. It is a full 100%. Just hit that go button, jump on a target and attempt to kill them. Whereas Resolve, they have a bit more peel back potential. That the Lee Sin kicks good peel. That the Urgot thrives when people dive in and don't focus him. So there are ways for Resolve to play around this. But if KOVA get rolling here, it's a very oppressive composition to play against.
I think KOVA need to respect the level 6. If they manage to survive the level 6 from the Twisted Fate, I think they'll be fine in later fights to come when the objectives start rolling in. And first of all, they need to be the ones pushing the trigger first, because if they allow Twisted Fate to get the flank, to get a good positioning, it's pretty much over. So you play before the Twisted Fate can get an ultimate in, and I feel like KOVA should have this in the bag.
Well, let's see how it goes. We have our final game of the night, Gulborg and Hitbrain standing by to cast, so we'll send it over to them.
Final game indeed. And the thing for me that's kind of jumping out is this Akali has been such a problematic pick, but it's getting picked up so consistently. Is there a reason why you think that Akali is just getting through the draft? Do you think the champions that are being banned are just that much more high priority to ban? Or do you think maybe teams are just kind of like missing something here?
From my opinion, you should just ban that. Honestly, I've seen it go through so many times. I've seen so many people think, all right, we just pick Silas, we pick Twisted Faith into it, it's going to be fine. It just doesn't go fine. Like it just never goes fine, really. I think there was some tools to actually. You can clearly tell they had an idea coming in with the Twisted Fate. They let the Akali be open. But I was quite surprised. All right, Akali wasn't first pick. Right, she wasn't second picked either. Right, not third picked. And then on the third pick on red side, all right, fair enough. You pick it so you can ban away some counters. That's fine. But very surprised about the lack of priority on it, because there's just not a lot of counter matchups into that champion.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like what Scoundrel's hitting on the desk as well. KOVA is kind of hit 6, hit R, run forward. Resolve, they do have abilities to play around that as well. They want to be counting backwards. They want to kind of, keep everyone off. If they can keep Simply off a Chew, I think they should be okay. If Simply can flank and find a Chew and just blow him up, these team fights become really, really rough. Like, not impossible.
But the problem is that you're also very reliant on one member, at least in a vacuum here, when we take a look onto the composition. Of course, the Urgot can get fed later, but when we take a look onto this composition, Archu is the main carry, and I can see 5 members, or theoretically 4, that can dive onto Archu just like instantly.
It's going to have to be a KOVA mispositioning and a really good kick by Soph, or
read fast.
Really good kiting. Too late.
All right, well, you get lucky. Oh, no. Oh,
no,
I thought they were going to bring it up again. All right. Fair enough. But yeah, so onto this. You've heard it many times. As Resolve, Jake, we want to slow the game down. You want to be able to make sure that Archu is up and reliable. And then when you get level 6, you can start looking for plays around that bot side of the map. But until then, you're obviously looking to just scale with the Jinx, and onto the side of KOVA, you just want to go in. You want to create some skirmishes. You want to create some fights. interesting up at this top side. Very interesting.
Crab and crocodile sitting in a bush. There's a little bit of light auto attack trading just to start us off. That's my play-by-play, my analysis of the situation.
It's been a long day, really. I get it.
It has been a long day.
We're almost back on track. Just 20 minutes late due to pauses, of course. But, you know, bear with us. This is going to be a banger. At least we hope so. At least the team composition of KOVA says so. And it's going to be interesting. Cross group here. 2 teams that have not been doing the most hot. Both 1 and 4.
Eyes open.
Yes.
This is where I kind of rely on you to build some storyline. you know. I'm kind of trying to set you up here to grab it and, you know, talk about some of them here.
Not falling for it. I appreciate that one. Anyway, this is what we do, Steve, from the Akali versus TF lane. TF will be a bit of a bully in lane to the Akali. Akali, other than the Gwen lane, we haven't really seen Akali have a good lane, but that just doesn't seem to matter to Akali. She just can be down so much gold and still one-shot your team. It's actually kind of obnoxious.
You're completely right. You don't pick Akali for laning phase. Quite often, the way you counter Akali is not even countering the champion. It's just that you have a lot of priority, and with that priority, you can use it to influence other side lanes. I kind of just hope that you snowball faster than the Akali is going to do individually, because she's got a lot of agency as a champion, whereas Jinx, champions like Jinx, they're very reliant on the composition around them. They're very reliant on getting spoon-fed resources, which is why you always see Jinx either paired up with some Kench, Braum, or Thresh, because they allow you that peel. They allow you to disengage or reposition. And with Twisted Fate from Blink Chimera, he's going to be pivotal in getting that Jinx ahead.
Well, Soft's actually getting double crab here. Outlandish going to be behind the punch here, as Fast Leg even rotates over to make sure the shield is popped and Sloth can do this crab nice and quickly. Nice stuff here from Resolve to be able to pull himself ahead on that one.
So still level 3 though, hasn't full cleared yet. He is playing Lee Sin, so obviously significantly slower jungle clear than we get from the side of a Nocturne, who's got a bit of AoE damage in his kit. But yeah, once again, both these champions in the jungle also very reliant on their first 6. Now, Nocturne's ultimate Paranoia does have a fair bit longer cooldown, so the first time you use that, you want to be successful with it. You don't want to have wasted it, because it's going to be a while before you can use it again.
Yeah, it's all about that first Nocturne R. That's what we always want to watch out for, see how it gets used. It's interesting because we've seen a lot of Nocturne and Lee Sin as laners, and a bit of while since we've seen them as where they're kind of known for originally as junglers, and we're getting to see both of them in their original role in this game. Now, obviously, Lee Sin does kind of struggle with the clear speeds of current junglers, but is doing okay here. Is up over the side of Outlandish.
And you know,
and Caleb just having a trade.
It's kind of interesting. In Riot's attempt to create more junglers with the AP buffs, they also created less by shoving all the other junglers into the top side instead.
Hey, at least we still get them. At least they still exist.
That's true. That's true. I do love some flexibility as well. Less binary play is always nice.
When was the last time you saw a Warwick?
I think it was last time I played it myself.
Exactly. I genuinely think the last time I saw a Warwick was when I played a Warwick.
Yeah. How'd it go?
Well, we were playing normals as a 5-man, so we weren't trolling, but we were kind of trolling. And basically, it was like a random champ generator thing, and like what your build was. And
Ultimate Bravery?
Warwick mid, so it didn't go well.
Oh, I see. Well, it probably wouldn't have gone well either way, but, you know, I appreciate the setup around it. Up towards the top side of the map.
At least that wasn't me just being bad. Anyway, back to game.
Yeah, you can see up towards the top side of the map. Outlandish was kind of hanging around, but as I said, we are looking for 6s here. And as soon as these level 6 come through, we can start looking for plays. Outlandish, still level 5. And now, moving towards this bot side, 4 members.
They're waiting for that Destiny soft. Going in, the trap's actually been laid by True. Maybe a little bit early as the hook goes wide by Fastleg. I'll kill himself a few plates here. In goes Tiara. Fastleg's going to take a couple of tower shots and back off, but they are able to pick the plates up. The Destiny was a threat, and I think that caused KOVA to peel backwards and play that very, very safe. Now, you're saying we want to watch that Paranoia usage. We also want to use this Destiny usage. See how this is going to get used by Chimera. That's going to be key for him to set up his side lanes.
And I wonder how long they're going to wait, because you can see both teams right now from how they're playing. It doesn't really seem like they're looking for too much. Now, of course, Resolve did try and set up for that dive, but outside of that,
great traps played onto the traps. Tiara jumping away. She doesn't have sticks as the Ignite was used. He's a slippery little ferret, that Rakan. Able to get away.
more of a bird than a ferret, really, isn't he?
He is a bird. It's something that's always stuck to me. When Rakan first came out, I gave him a go. I gave him a play, and I was jumping around the map. And I jumped into the enemy team, did a bunch of stuff, and then jumped out to safety. And the enemy top laner just typed, "You're a slippery."
Wait here. I'm just gonna cut your story.
Paranoia coming in, fresh going low, fresh going down, baby. Nowhere for him to go, and that is first blood for Snormy. Achu trying to kite. Has to be a little bit careful here, but Achu able to survive the onslaught.
Yeah, and there we go. First usage of Paranoia does come to fruition here down in this bot side. And they even gave the kill over to Snurmy. So absolutely beautiful there. I hope we get to see the replay, because Outlandish actually did some nice little micro plays to make that work as well.
As we have a look at the replay here, we can see just Fastleg, it's a bit too overextended. The Paranoia comes in. It's kind of
look at the flash.
Early.
Look at the flash. He flashes forward. So if ever Fastleg is going to flash as well, he will get feared no matter what. It was a really nice positioning of himself. Nice
and it also
outplay
fit
by
him
Outlandish.
into them as well, which was a really good position there by Outlandish. And Resolve, they are going to fight back a little bit here. They're going to pick themselves up this Rift Herald. I'd actually like to have a look at the gold on the individuals here, just to see where we are now, because first blood onto Snormy has stemmed the bleeding massively. He would have been down quite a significant amount to achieve prior to that, thanks to the plating and just the CS deficit. So getting that first blood has definitely slingshot Snormy back into a position where he should feel a bit more comfortable in this game.
Yeah, definitely should. The rest of the map, after having picked up that Herald, out to counter jungle a little bit. So Soft actually stealing away Outlandish red buff, but despite that, he's still a level down. And honestly here, Brain, it's just due to the nature of the matchup. Lee Sin doesn't clear that fast, but he is clearing up the scuttle here. He is going to be doing the blue buff after, and he should be looking to even out the level again. Down at the spot side, you talked about plates. Looks like Snermy is able to pick one up as well.
Was able to get himself a bit of gold injected into him. Chimera still just kind of actually down in CS to his lane counterpart, and hasn't been able to utilize the Destiny yet and find an opportunity to come in and set up a player. We need to see this from him.
And now recalling almost could have fought the Legion near. I think he just fought it as well. Chimera will get the blue buff. And Jake, 30 seconds until this Mountain Drake will respawn, and you can see most people have actually reset. Now, Simply did reset. No Leeching Lear is actually the Sork Shoes together with Lansting one, and a lot of other components coming through from that one. Bot lane trying to get the pressure. You can see it's actually a big wave that Resolve have stacked up here. You want to have the priority from this one. Kind of need to start trimming it out. There is 10 seconds until the Drake respawns. TP for both top laners. And we could see a fight potentially from both teams right now. I feel like both teams would be confident enough to try their luck.
I think they probably are, but Outlandish is going to start the dragon up, and neither bot wave is really in a position where someone's going to get first rotation, although it is now going to be Simply who makes his way over first. Soft has placed the ward to spot out this dragon, and Fastleg now rotating over. Chu going the long way around, playing it safe as Dragon pretty low. Soft's going to look to come in. It's pretty hard to secure when the Lee Sin technically has a little bit more burst. With the cards coming in, the Paranoia on. The fight is breaking out. The teleport's already been used, but it's miles away. Outlandish going low. The rocket's big. The Ignite not ticking low enough, and the charm's going to connect. Achu is low. Achu is almost dead, but he's able to heal. He's able to go in for it. Snormy caught out as the tower shots are coming in. Not quite enough to secure the kill, but here comes Simply. Chimera. Gold cards on to Tiara. as Snormy will get executed. The fear beyond death is big by Kalim, who gets himself a gobble down and takes out Tiara. But overall, in favor of Resolve.
Yeah, big win over there from the side of Revolve. A lot of teleports are being used, or some of the spells are being used by both teams here. So big investment that you win out on here. You stop the Drake, you get onto the bot side of the map, you get the Herald plates, but they're not done here, Jake.
No, it looks like they're not for now. They are waiting for this charge to come down, and isn't going to be enough to finish the tower up, but it is going to be able to give a bunch of gold to Soft and Kalim. Dragon still standing, though. We'll see whether or not the teams decide to go for that. But for now, let's look back in time and see this fight.
Yeah, you can see starts up here and no instantaneous. Oh, it's actually a really nice ultimate over from the side of Snurmy. Blocked the Jinx rocket, but then Destiny Gate does come through and they're able to finish it off. Snurmy goes a bit on a suicide mission here, and then I don't really know what's happening afterwards here. Tiara gets ignited down, and then it's just going to be the beautiful Fear Beyond Death. Very scattered fight, really. Not very coordinated from either team in this situation.
As we come out of the replay, Chu is just picking up tower plates, tower gold, and Resolve are waiting. They might be looking for a little pick here. They're not fussed by the dragon. They want to go for a dive as everybody's going to jump out. And here they come. Gold card charged up, and it will connect. Snormy instantly goes in for the gold card. The rocket is going to land, and Soft takes a lot of tower shots. Isn't going to take the lantern away. It's simply trying to jump forward. The box is there. The gold card to slow into the zap, and he pings back out to safety. Resolve almost taking out Tiara, but not able to make it connect. And the dragon just kind of being ignored. They've just rotated everyone over towards the top side. Here's the Paranoia jumping in. Great lantern, the flash to make sure the fear connects. Here's the play. Here's the kill. Everything layered in, and that is an easy one for Simply. Resolve just get walked through in the top side.
Yeah, and you see how volatile this composition from KOVA can be. One small mistake and all the members of KOVA are on top of you. No cross map to come through either. You can see Chimera trying to push in mid, trying to see if he can get a little bit of plating before Simply arrives, and I think he will be able to pick it up, but still a win for KOVA getting that little double kill up in that top side.
Kalim should be able to pick up this first turret blood, and I think with plates as well. He's got time, he's got machine guns, and that is it. First turret blood with plates for Kalim. Big gold injection for him. He's pretty nice now. 1,000 gold lead over Tatooine. Was able to find that kill on Tiara earlier. And I want to see Resolve try and focus this dragon. They've already got the first one. They could be looking at a potential soul for them. So why not try and get the dragon, as it looks like they're keeping Ichu in the top side of the map, and the pings go down. They know he's there. No paranoia, but dragon secured. A little bit more resistances to work with. Maybe a bit more survivability for Ichu.
Yeah, it's always going to be lovely, especially when you're playing into a backline dive composition, but realistically speaking, doesn't do all too much. Cloud Drake is going to be the Drake to play for, and for Resolve, doesn't really benefit them that much. Yes, there are some big cooldowns, but definitely not the Drake you would have liked to roll.
Now, let's take stock of the items and where we are right now in the game, because it's a 1,100 gold lead to Resolve. Chu hasn't actually finished up a Mythic, while Snormy has the Kraken Slayer. Soft has the Everfrost, and there's a Stride Breaker and a Gore Drinker on Soft and Kalim as well. Just 2 items being picked up by KOVA, though. Got that Kraken Slayer on Snormy and that Stride Breaker on Outlandish. Now, Chu has to be careful. Now the Paranoia is back up, there is always this just ever-present threat of the dive.
I love the Destiny Gate come out, the spell shields, and all you were doing was just talking about the items being...
I like items. I think it's fun. The Paranoia is on. This is going to be Soft losing his life. Nothing he's able to do there. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even see the Destiny. This skin is so hard to see when Destiny's up for the Observer. Anyway, fight breaking out. Hooks landing on Outlandish. They get the charm, they get the lockdown, and this is going to be an easy couple of kills. Kalim not going to be able to find the Fear Beyond Death either. And Chimera on the wrong side of the map. Gold card only going to save him from one. As Snormy is on a killing spree now. Kalim, only one left standing. Riftail's getting summoned, and KOVA looking to take down this turret, looking to close out this game.
I'll say it again, scaling compositions are such a bait in this meta, and you can clearly see why here. Yes, it starts out with a mistake from Soft, but the rest of the team just falling. They have no pressure they can work off here, and it's just so easy for KOVA to just be like, well, I have an R button, I'm just going to go in, we're just going to face roll my entire face across the keyboard. That's going to be fine.
I mean, we see it again. I mean, there's not really much to say. It's just the bot lane got put in the blender and no one was prepared to be able to help them.
Chimera with the flash, flashes over across the wall and is met with another wall and 2 members he'll have to navigate himself through. And I mean, it's just not possible. You can see how tough that situation is. We talked about it. Those Destiny gates in the early game, they needed to facilitate this Jinx. Let's take stock of the Jinx. How facilitated is she? Well, she's 0, 3, and 1. And I no longer think she actually has a gold lead over this Kai'Sa.
Would be correct as Paranoia's on. Chimera
No flash.
gets a good gold card and Everfrost. Outlandish taking a couple of tower shots here, almost going down. He finds the shutdown. Chimera with the outplay.
Oh, is he done here? Yes, he is actually done. Just not enough damage coming out from the 2 champions there. And Chimera, oh, solo kill as well from Calum onto Simply.
Not sure
What
what
is
happened
going
there.
on here?
Resolve just found their opportunity to get themselves back in this game. This tower is going to get taken down. They've got the cannon wave. They've got to shoot a free fire off onto it and a hook to follow as well. They might not go for the tower. They may just go for the kill. A great kick back and the rockets there. Fastlane will be the one to get the kill. Maybe not the ideal target, but they get the kill. They get the tower. I think they're going to be okay with that as Tatooine will take this top lane tower.
But it just feels like at times both teams, I love what Orc said. He was like talking both teams up down a bit. And he said, unfortunately, both teams can't lose. We need to have a winner. But you can kind of see here why he had that statement as well. Lots of mistake coming out, obviously being punished as well from both sides on the situation. And Resolve finding a way back into this game where they actually have a gold lead now. Great job by them.
Yeah, really, really good job by them. You can see kind of where this gold is being placed. Normally still has a lead over a Chew, but Chimera, pretty significant gold lead over Simply. The Simply does now have the Riftmaker finished up. It's had that for a little while, which is a major spike for the Akali. I'd like to quickly toggle back to the items and see where we are in the item point, because the Kraken Slayer is now been finished up for a Chew, working towards what I assume will be a Phantom Dancer, could be a Hurricane, but typically it's been more likely to be the Phantom Dancers coming out from the Jinxes as of late. And it's a rapid fire cannon now finished up on Chimera, so got those long range gold cards to work with.
Yeah, but right now, you know who the real carry is from Resolve? That's Calum. He was sitting on the most gold. He's the one who's looking the most scary right now in terms of items as well. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
you can dive in on the backline, you can kill Archu, but killing Calum is going to be another story here. And taking stock of items, Chimera has finished up that rapid fire cannon, some longer stunts maybe to work with. It's going to be good for a pick, but know that if you're not decisive enough, KOVA will just not give you the time to go for a second time. I mean, you need to go for it instantaneously if you want to get a pick, or else you're the one who's going to get picked.
They'll take the turret down as Dragon was secured by KOVA, but honestly, Resolve kind of okay for that. They get jumped onto, the Voidseeker lands, and they are going to jump straight into the face of this Urgot. Nothing he can do other than clear the wave out. The shutdown picked up Snormy. And Resolve, they're just going to continue their play on the top side. They're going to take this tier 2 turret top side. They will lose a tier 1 in the bot side, and maybe the tier 2 in the mid side as well. So KOVA will be trading up here for the moment. The gold lead is dead even. 100 gold separates these teams. Once this tower drops, though, will be a little bit more towards KOVA.
Yeah, don't know if he can actually make it. Home guards are coming through, so the rest of Resolve are going to be making their way up here. Nice little cute red buff giveaway here. Does look like Snever will get it. Oh, Destiny Gate.
Instantly goes in, the rocket's going to land. He takes a lot of damage, but doesn't quite go down as here comes Soft trying to find his opportunity. Chimera jumping onto Simply, and the shutdown is there. Resolve finding himself their kill onto the AD carry.
What was that flash from Snurby? That looked very awkward. Instead of flashing over the wall, he kind of just went back into the little bush there. And now, fair enough.
Tatooine getting jumped onto. The flip comes in, but they're doing the lockdown down. This is an absolute cluster of a fight. The flash is out. Can they kite? No, they can't. Simply able to take them out. A double kill picked up from the Akali. The Fear Beyond Death comes in from Fastlane. Now they're chasing them for more. It's another kill picked up as well. Double kill for Calum. Simply not really feeling this anymore as Chimera cycling through the cards. Got the gold card ready, but not going to pull the trigger quite yet. Simply goes for the 5-point strike, and Chimera will find him here. The Shuriken flip goes wide, and they continue their chase. Simply going to teleport out from this one. Don't think they're going to be able to find him as he blinks out.
I didn't even know you could do that in Shroud. I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. That's quite cool. But also very strong. And once again, very scattered and uncoordinated from both teams here. But you can really see the strength of KOVA's team composition. The way they're able to just pile the engage on. And then Caleb, once he joined that fight, Resolve has actually something to play for. He's not going to go down easily. He's not just going to get one shot. And these extended team fights really benefit Urquhart with the shotgun decks. But this is how it started. Just like, how easy is that, by the way?
Very. Is the answer.
Thank you. And you can see it again here towards the backside. They are just getting absolutely jumped on. Nice fear beyond death. And then we just go on to the scattered team fight again.
As we come out of the replay, Resolve, they lost that fight, but they're not down. They're not out yet. They've still got some strength. You've got a very strong TF to be able to actually kind of lock Simply down. And Chu is getting there. Even though he's 0-4, he is getting there. But it is a rough game to play Jinx, and this kind of harks back to what you were talking about. They haven't really got the things like a Tarm Kench, the champions that kind of facilitate and peel for the Jinx. You obviously had the Fresh Lantern to kind of get him out, but Simply has 110 dashes, so he can just kind of keep pace anyway.
And resets are coming through now as well. It'll be interesting to see what...
Seemed that with the Phantom Dancer finished up for a Chu.
I think you'd be correct, and there it is. 2 items finally onto it. Goal difference over time. What a roller coaster, really, huh?
I mean, I like this. This is what I like. We've had a lot of one-sided games. Game 2 was pretty back and forth. Sorry, game 3? Game 2. No, game 2 was pretty back and forth. And then this game also been pretty back and forth. XL
I think I can like
their
this,
form.
but for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
But go on, XL, back to form. What were you talking
I was just
about?
saying XL maybe back to form, but, you know, whatever, bro.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm on the verge. If Resolve don't win this, I'm going 0-5 for predictions today. It is. I made some bold calls. And Fnatic hinted me a little bit as well. So, you know, my predictions are not looking great right now.
I think Fnatic did everyone dirty, all right? That's the one thing. But going for Galaxy Racer against BTXL, that's on you, buddy.
Would you say they were dirty or dusty?
I'm not going to talk to you.
Well, you have to. You're getting paid to. All right. Dragon spawning up in 30 seconds time. Caleb just going to get a little bit of fear, but maybe not beyond death onto Outlandish just to scare him.
And this is going to be really interesting because, I mean, Archie, yes, you picked up 2 items, but it's not going to stop the rest of KOVA from just doing what they keep doing here. But crucially, no blue trinkets up here, so you can't just instantaneous paranoia unless you already have vision onto them. So if you can keep this area around Drake free of vision from KOVA, it's going to be hard
the
for them to
paranoia.
stop, right?
Jinx traps are down. They're looking to jump in straight onto a Chu. A Chu's trying to fight away, trying to kite away, but he's feared. Snormy jumps in for the assassination. Snormy can't quite get it. A Chu finds the kill. Now he can kite. Now he can fight. Tatooine locks Fastlane down, but now Chimera has to reposition and rejoin the fray. Gold card wound up. The Mega Death Rocket goes a little bit off kilter, but they're going to continue to fight as Fastlane just about survives, and a Chu is excited. They're chasing. Can they find the zap? Onto Simply. Yes, they can. Soft comes in. The kick is there, and Chimera will close it out. Resolve, find 4.
And you can clearly see KOVA way too overextended in that team fight. Way too many members they were on, not a single target. So instead of jumping onto 1, they jumped onto 3 different members. Clearly overforced. They popped the paranoia and felt like they had to go in around that one, but it just netted them. A Baron for Resolve and a Drake at the same time. Kalen, you can see him on the minimap, trying to take that at the moment. I think he's going to get both, and there we go. Resolve back into this game.
Absolutely back into it. Let's look at this fight again. Everything thrown at a Chu, and he is not going down.
I mean, not really. It feels like everything's thrown onto the front line, and then Snurmy is the only one jumping onto a Chu, which is why this fight goes so wrong. Simply as well. Not really having the second part of this perfect execution execute anyone. And look how many low HP bars there are on the side of Resolve, but they were just unfocused from KOVA. No one wanted to put down 1 member. They put the damage all across 5 different members, and that makes sure Resolve was able to pick up a clean team fight. Well, not really clean, but just pick up the team fight.
Yeah, they were honestly a hair's breadth away from someone getting a pentakill with all those low health bars. But like I said, Snormy jumping in a little bit too overeager onto the back line. And now Resolve have got themselves the Baron Nashor And they are looking to push in and take some plates, well, not plates, trying to take some towers. Because they got themselves a 4,000 gold lead to work with here. Lichbane finished up onto Chimera. He's got attack speed, got extra AD to work with. He's able to take these turrets nice and quick.
And it's just going to be rotating in between towers now. You don't really have a... Well, you could 1v1, but you don't want to split up against the composition that has Nocturne and the TP onto Simply. You want to make sure you stay together, make sure you can trip these turrets down, and that's a lot of damage.
That's a lot of damage. Teleports are coming in. A great Everfrost will lock everyone down. They jump onto a Chew. Simply's on the flank. He might find his opportunity. They've locked a Chew down, but a Chew is still alive. There's the shutdown picked up for Stormy. Everybody's knocked up. A double kill for Stormy. Kaelin trying to keep this going for the moment as the Destiny's pulled, and Chimera chases in with a gold card, able to find himself the kill. Resolve Fire back in a 2-for-2 trade.
2 for 2, Baron buff still alive. They can continue pushing on towards the inhibitor. HP bars are low, so I think they're going to get the inhibitor. I think they're going to look for bot, and I think they're going to reset this one.
Going to make short work of these structures, though, with that Lichbane. Bottom inhibitor will go down. They've got the Baron still on them for the moment. They might hang around, but with 18 seconds until Simply's up, I think the smart decision is to move away, reset, spend that gold.
Yeah, I completely agree. And once again, very scattered fight. We get some very messy fights with this backline composition from KOVA, but I love to see it. It was really great team fight. And Caleb, once again, coming in clutch as just this stationary target, just shooting you down from all angles. And it starts with Snurmy getting bursted out. And I think if he had not get bursted out to this point in time with this low HP, this could have been a very different fight. You can see he's actually scared to dive in now with the Kai'Sa ultimate, just waiting for the correct time. And once he can get the shot down, dives into it. Really nice 3-man to kind of clear it up. But this is where it starts to go wrong for KOVA. The Destiny comes through, and he's able to pick up Snurmy with the blue card. Makes it a 2-for-2. And once again, Baron buff was still unresolved, so they were able to pick up the remaining objectives.
I really want to sing the praises of Chimera in that fight as well, because his Everfrost locked both Tatooine and Tiara from joining that fight until it kind of already started, and then they weren't able to have the initial impact you want from the Rakan. So honestly, Chimera playing that very, very well, and he is pulling his weight this game along with Kaelin. 5-1 on both of them. Only 2 assists separating these two. You can see the total damage dealt across this game, and it is a lot coming out from Chimera for the side of Resolve.
It really is there. Now you can see from KOVA, they're still waiting. They have Paranoia active now, so they still need to be careful. Archu, no flash, only the Lantern to let him make a safe getaway here. And Baron buff has timed out as well.
They can wait for this big double wave of supers in the bot side to push up. Someone has to go deal with that. It's going to be Tatooine. He does have teleport, but they're coming in on the flank. Tiara being spotted out by the pink ward. Simply also spotted out by that ward, but she's not seeing with his Scryer. And the tower will go down. The Paranoia's pulled, and they're just going to bolt together. Tiara's looking to come in. A Choose caught out. This is Simply jumping in for the moment, but Outlandish is going low. And Kursoff will take him down. Simply has to go golden inside the Shroud. A great kick out onto Tiara. And they've got a Chew free firing away, picking himself up the double kill. Stormy and Tiara, the only 2 left standing as the gold card connects, and it's a triple kill. Picked up for a Chew. Tiara's being chased down, and with a sneeze, it's an 8 for the side of Resolve.
And there we go. They finally were able to make it work. They had the perfect peel for them. So no matter all the backline that came free from KOVA, they were not able to cut through the defense of Resolve.
30 minutes on the clock, and Resolve will take the win, as this puts an end to our cross-play of our 3rd week here and our first cross-play day at the NLC.
Good stuff. I wouldn't say clean gameplay from either team, really. I think there still is a lot of mistakes that needs fixing, but certainly something, a stepping stone for greater success that you can come across here from Resolve.
Yeah, I think there's definitely things that both of these teams need to look at going into the next few weeks, because that wasn't particularly clean from either team. Resolve were ahead in gold, then they started losing fights and fell behind. KOVA then started winning fights, and then they started falling behind. It was very back and forth. It was very all over the place, but we did get to see that TF getting used as kind of a counter to the Akali, which is something we've had worries about. But anyway, I'm waffling, and I don't think I should be. Let's pass it over to our analyst, Des, to break down today's action.